It's your girl, Nathalie Nelson Parker here, and it is Nuggets with Nathalie. So go ahead, call a friend, like, share, tag, and tell them we are in the building with the leadership expert, Aisha. How you doing, Aisha?
Hey guys, I'm doing great.
I'm gonna
It's
go ahead
Friday.
and I'm not gonna tell everybody else to share and I not share. So I'm gonna go ahead and share our live now.
And I'm doing the same thing. Great minds think alike.
I'm super excited today for a few reasons. Let me tell you why I'm excited. One, I'm excited because I did my hair.
Wow, and I love it. She got that nice bounce, that Vidal Sassoon going on.
Listen, I was looking like a quarantine, okay? I was looking like a quarantine. And I was feeling like what I was looking like. So I had to make some changes because, tonight is Friday.
Okay.
Date night. So
Date night.
Get myself ready for Mr. Parker when he comes home, you know what I'm saying? Pull it together. So if you're out there, I just want to share some love with you, okay? Just go ahead. Make yourself up, dress up, put on a full face of makeup like me with nowhere to go. If it's going to help lift your spirits. But sometimes we have to do that.
Yeah.
So what are the ways, Aisha, that you are, doing the quarantine bounce back? You know what I'm saying? Perking it up a little bit.
Well, it's funny because I was listening to this podcast and it was like, you wear sweatpants every day. You might forget if your jeans fit right. So I have been now putting my jeans on. I've been waking up and I'm not just like rolling out of bed. I'm like putting a little gloss on, putting a little swoop. A little swoop on the forehead, And just like you said, I know we're in a space where we're home, we're comfortable, but let's just do ourselves up a little bit. Throw on some makeup, like wash your face, brush your teeth, get cute. Just get cute for a few hours and then, wash it all off. But yes, because we are transitioning out of this. We don't want to stay in this. We are transitioning out little by little, safely, but it will happen.
Yeah, and that's so true. And those are like the intentional details and things that we can do in our lives to care for ourselves.
Yes.
Not necessarily to impress others, but to really love, appreciate ourselves. And for some people might not be doing your hair or putting your jeans on, but what are the little ways that you can care for yourself and have joy and spread joy in times like these? So I think that's really important.
Yes.
Especially for where both moms, you're a single mother. You are, God knows how busy with businesses and in the air. You don't talk about your accolades enough. You're like really up there in the Air Force. And so spending time with yourself and taking time for yourself is such an essential part of being a transformational leader and just really enjoying your life, because we can get so stuck in the rat race. And I feel like a lot of us were at that point before the quarantine and the sheltering in place. And so we don't want to take that kind of same mindset and bring it into, I don't even want to call this new normal, but this particular time.
Yeah, this season.
Yeah, this season. So that's important. Lead yourself well, guys. You are loved. You are valuable. You are, I like to say, a beloved child of God. So go ahead and treat yourself and take care of yourself, because you are precious.
Yes.
And although this might be a difficult time, listen, you are worth it. You are worth every bit of attention and care and love that you can give to yourself. So if that means trying to press your hair yourself, you go ahead, honey. Okay. Gentlemen, if you got to go ahead and give your own self a line hook, you do that, boo.
Okay? Yes. Just if it mess it up, it's okay. Just cut it off. Just take it off and just start from scratch.
You gonna have at least 6 weeks
to grow back. You got time.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm so glad, guys. Welcome to Nuggets with Nathalie. It's a Friday night. That means there's two things happening in the Parker house. It's Nuggets with Nathalie, and this is the Transformational Leaders series with Aisha Thomas. So go ahead, like, share, comment, tag a friend. Let them know that we're going in today. And I'm really excited about our topic because this is something that, Aisha, you've been incredibly helpful for me and a gem in my life. As a leader, sometimes what happens is we have these great ideas. We have these game-changing programs or ideas or opportunities that we're ready to launch. And we launch them and they're great, but we don't have the right systems in place to sustain it.
Yes.
And so today, for all of our role changers, whether you're a nonprofit organization, whether you're a church, whether you're an entrepreneur, we're going to be sharing with you the 4 systems that every transformational leader has to have to increase their performance, to improve their performance, increase their funding, whether that's donations, whether that's giving, or whether that's, sending out your invoice and making sure it's actually paid. Hello, somebody.
Hello.
And increasing your productivity. So we're gonna share with you the systems that you need to have in place, and we're gonna share why that's so important. So I should talk a little bit about, and you can go ahead and tell all the people about how terrible I am. About some of the pitfalls that leaders have when it comes to not putting the right systems in place and what those impacts are, particularly as we situate this conversation within a global pandemic where everyone has to do everything online. Everyone has to do things virtually. And a lot of people, believe it or not, even though it's 2020, we're not prepared to do that.
That's so true. I mean, I think systems and creating processes is so important. Like, you have to make time to create those systems and processes. It's just like time management. What I'm seeing a lot of with my clients, a lot of people within the organization, like Nathalie said, I'm in the Air Force. I've been in since 2003. When you don't have processes in place, it's like you're utilizing too much time, too much energy. They have the saying, work smarter, not harder. But there's certain processes that you can put in place that's going to free you up to be that leader. Because just like we've been talking about the A+ assessment over time, we've been talking about the importance of these gifts and talents that we have and these strengths that we have. But when you don't have systems in place, you can't focus on truly utilizing that because, you don't have an email system in place. You don't have a process in place in regards to when you reach your client, what to do after you reach out to them, and having this in place. So you're so focused on the back end things and doing stuff, not necessarily in a systemized order, that you don't even have time or energy after doing all that. I mean, just for working with Nathalie and just from talking, like, she has specific gifts and talents. And when she has to do those intricate pieces of work, and even I have my days, it's tiring. She's like, I don't want to talk about this anymore, because she has specific gifts and talents that should be focused on the big picture.
I'm like, no, yes. No more.
She gets so stressed out about it, but I understand. But, even with building it, we were saying, okay, big picture, by creating this is going to free you up so much. But what's happening is that there's more stressors that are going to come if you are trying to play catch up every single time. I got a call, I got an email. It's like, no, put these systems in place and allow that to save you time, energy, so you can focus on the big picture. And that big picture is going to allow you to increase your revenue, give you more time, bring in more business. So it's so important for you to embed those things in your processes.
That is so true. And, up front, for people like me, focusing on those details and those systems, terribly frustrating, can seem tedious and time consuming. But once the system is in place, that's it. It pretty much generates and automates on its own. Now, for people who say, all right, I hear what you're talking about systems, but whatever, what are the implications of organizations, businesses, and even teams, as far as those who are leading others, of what will happen if they don't have the systems in place? What are the practical, tangible ways they would see kind of those triggers and impacts in their organization or their business.
I mean, if you think about, like, say we think about a simple drive-through, right? There's a certain process. And we think about Chick-fil-A. Oh my gosh, if we think about Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A has a system in place that's so good. Even now, normally if you're going through the drive-through, they have 1 or 2, 3 people already lined up, walking up to you, getting your order. They're putting it in the system that they have. So you have the physical
And they
system
have
that they have.
iPads, including the regular cashier, like, no.
Exactly. So now you're not even having to go through the little part where you talk on the screen and so on. Then you go around. And then the one that's in my neighborhood, they have someone, like 2 people standing outside. Hey, is your name Aisha? Yeah, it's Aisha. Okay, you had this. Oh, I did have that. They bring it to you. And now that drive-through line has been moved. I've noticed that the drive-through line is moving so much more efficiently and faster because they have a system in place. So I want you to think about that the same way. Think about, okay, what are the areas in your business? What are the areas in your nonprofit or within, your church that you're noticing, man, I'm spending so much time doing this. Maybe I need to create something. Maybe I need to put a process in place where, hey, if someone comes in, we even see it at the DMV. They'll go in, you pull a ticket, the ticket comes up. Oh, number 24, you go up, you need this item, and that item. That's a process that you're building. I need these 3 things. Once you have those, if you don't have those 3 things, go back to the end of the line, because what happens if you don't have it? What happens? You're going to have to fill out all the papers there. You're taking up time. So just think about it from those systems that we see on a regular basis, from Chipotle, the places you go to on a regular basis. Just imagine if you start putting those processes in place so you can have that free flowing line. What happens is Chick-fil-A has people going through that drive-through. Now they're increasing revenue. They're increasing revenue. And of course, it's not all about the funds, but just think about it. They're servicing more customers. Those are more people that don't have to stand that drive-through line as long because they have that system in place. And I'm going to go back because I know I'm not going to wait 50 minutes for my food, like I might have if I don't go to fast food like that. So I'm not marketing fast food. We want to keep it healthy, but we know those places we go to and the line is like takes forever, right? But
And
they've created a system.
I think though, Aisha, that also translates to so many different things. Like you use the model of fast food, but even churches, even now that we have to do online worship experiences, or for those of us who utilize social media for direct marketing to our ideal audience, or maybe you're not even virtually ready, but you have some kind of business. The implication of not having that system in place means lower productivity, right?
Yes.
Means less engagement and focus for your team. And then, like you said, a decrease in the potential of what your funding could be, whether that's, again, giving donations, or if you're an entrepreneur, actually, securing that client from lead to, invoice paid. And we can see that. So you gave the example of Chick-fil-A. It's the difference between having a Chick-fil-A and a Popeyes experience, or having a Red Lobster experience versus Long John Silver. There are particular systems that increase the amount of money they can ask for, increase the amount of money that they see on their bottom line, and increase the amount of traffic that is going in their door. And I think a lot of us spend more time on the vision and spend less time on the execution.
Yes.
And I don't say that in a way that's like, damning. I'm saying it like, for me, I have done that. I have been guilty. And that's why our relationship has been so impactful in my life. And to be honest, like, I am already seeing, we had a conversation, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've already seen the difference.
Love it.
I've already seen the difference in regards to how many people are going to my website, in regards to those proposals actually being paid, in regards to how many people are going to either my website or my social media pages. And my team is super productive in comparison to just, one quarter to the next. So I think it's so important as a leader to really spend time. And if that's a skill that you don't have, to seek someone that does it. So we want to hear from you guys. Go ahead, like, share, comment if what we've been talking about has been helpful so far. Let us know, what are the systems? What are the biggest pain points that you're having right now as a leader in your organization, in your business, or in your nonprofit? So what are your 3 or 4 major tips of why systems are important? So we talked about kind of like what will happen if you don't have the systems, and some examples of what is great about having systems. But what are your top reasons that transformational leaders need to think about this?
Well, I think one of the first ones is it deters missteps, right? You want to make sure that you have processes in place so the overall quality of the product that you're giving is good. Just imagine if you place an order somewhere and then you get it, and say you ordered a whole suit and now all you got was the pants and that was it. Like, where's the jacket? Where's everything? Right? Where's the whole suit that I ordered? And what a system allows you to do is so you can have checkpoints where you can say, okay, step 1, I need to, grab the shirt. Step 2, I have to grab the pants. Step 3, I need to grab the shoes. Next step, I need to put it in the box. So it allows you to just make sure that you're hitting all those important areas. So from the beginning to the end, when that product goes out, whatever your product is, because your product and service might be your message. Your product and service might be an actual product, but you're just making sure that you're hitting all those points. So what the customer, the client is getting on the other end is of quality, is something that is awesome. It's something that's great. Just like, I sing in my church choir. And one of the things, or my praise and worship team. So before we even go live, there's a process. So we sit there and we actually practice. We'll go through all the songs. The sound is going to make sure they're good. The camera folks are going to make sure they're good, just because. So at the end, they've done their checks and balances. Okay, we've checked that. The vocals are right. The confidence monitors are good. So then again, on the other side, when they do go live, they're going to get a quality product. The people that are watching and tuning in to watch your live show, or they're watching, your church service. Also, the other thing is it benefits communication, right? Because Nathalie hit on a great point. If you are focused so much on all those little tedious tasks with all those things because you don't have a system, you're not allowing yourself to have time to talk to your team because you're busy playing catch up. You're not allowing your team time to breathe. It's not allowing you to be able to have that time where you guys can mastermind and think about different ideas. Why? Because you guys have all these other things that you have to take care of. You have all these clients calling because you missed a few steps. You have all these complaints, and now it's adding on stress to the team. But now, because of that, your communication is going to get better within the team, within the organization, even with your clients, because you have processes in place to ensure that, again, that quality of product comes out. And then finally, I think, again, like I said, again, it allows you to focus on the big picture. Everybody has gifts, talents, strengths. You as the business leader have specific things. You want to bring in the clients. You want to bring in the customers. You want to maybe preach that message. So now you're allowed to focus on that. You're allowed to focus on your sermon. You don't have any distractions. Why? Because you have those systems in place. And now you can really hone in on your message, hone in on your product or your presentation, because everything else on the back end is working smoothly. So again, it allows you to focus on the big picture. It gives you better communication. And finally, it really, really is something that's going to give you that overall quality that you need. And you don't have to worry about missing those steps, those key steps that are going to be important so you can put out a quality product.
Yeah, I love that. And this came up when we had group coaching this week. And this group coaching session was like phenomenal.
It was so good.
It was so good. We have some amazing. And if you have not been a part of group coaching, it's totally free. This is our way of just pouring into and loving on people during this time, because as difficult as these times are, that dream, that vision, that passion, that thing that you always wanted to do, but you didn't have time to do it. This is the season. This is the time for you to pick that dream back up. Don't put it in your pocket. Put it in your heart, your mind, and go chase it. And so it was so great to see, there's so many different people on the line, but what I was really, really impressed with was one of our world changers, and I won't put her out there because she's not on the live right now, but like how she is like building her system and building her process to kind of get that dream and that vision out there. And then we also have people who are just starting. And so the advice that we were giving them was so important, because I also think a byproduct of having the right system is building your confidence, in not only your ability to do what you said you were going to do, but that you have the infrastructure to do it. And so one of the things that came on the call was someone that was like, should I do it or should I not do it? And she was a little kind of skeptical. And we shared this quote with her: transformational leadership is defined as a leadership approach that causes change in individuals, in communities, in social systems. So whatever it is that you're doing, you have to be so intentional that you understand that this podcast, that this program, that this business, that this church, that this nonprofit organization is going to change the world. And I have to invest in the infrastructure so that that can be sustained, so that I can deliver it to the people that need to hear that message, so that I can build up a team that can carry this work. And I think that when we think about, the weight of what we're doing, then we better understand how those systems are in place. Are you laughing at me, Aisha?
No, my kids just roll by, so it's like you gotta give them that look like,
Not today.
Not today.
No,
not right now. Give me 30 minutes.
You don't want none of this smoke right now on this live stream.
Hey, listen, we having to juggle a lot of things.
Listen. You see, I'm here living my best life. Little Leon and Big Leon are gone. That's why I look so blessed and relaxed. Shout out to all the moms and dads out there. If you're a mom and dad that's cooking, cleaning, homeschooling, go ahead, put a 1 in the comments, and we're going to give you some love.
And for you definitely need systems. Like, you need to have them in place just for the fact that you juggle so much. So yes, please shout out to all the parents, the people that are juggling multiple hats. That's why this process is so important, because we do juggle a lot of hats, and that, just takes one hat off because you created it and it's doing its own thing.
And when you have the right systems, when you juggle a lot of hats, the system works for you.
Yes.
Which allows you more time to be so important. So there are 4 things that when we were talking that you really pointed out for me in regards to, all right, you might not be able to get all of your infrastructure together now, but these are the 4 things you need to have. And another thing that really changed the game for me, you were like, Nathalie, your content is just not about going on live. When you go on live, the people who are using this information, how do they stay connected with you? Mm-hmm. And so I think that is so important, that a lot of us don't even really think about that, even churches. So, for example, shout out to my husband. I love you, baby. You the GOAT.
Big L, what up?
So our church has gained more members.
Love it.
Our giving has gone, our electronic giving has gone up. We have not experienced a deficit so far. Thanks be to God, and thanks be to God for the amazing team and people that we have that are working with us. And all of that, our live stream is like every Sunday getting better and better. But all of those things are happening not because the way we preach has changed, not because of anything other than we had the right structures in place. So there are organizations and churches out there that are not getting tithes and offering because they don't have the system. They're not getting members because after people watch the live stream, there's no way for them to connect with them.
Yes.
They're not experiencing, growth in their social media because they're not notifying their audience when they're going to be live.
Yeah.
So those are like the small things, the small little tweaks in the system that can increase your productivity, right? The people that are going in and out your doors, the people that are knowing about your goods, your services, and your content, improve your performance. Our team knows how to execute and now has a system in place to sustain that. And then increasing your funding. I'm like blown away about how during this time we are seeing all of those three things happen because of systems. So the four systems that you really talked about with me, and I want you to kind of go into depth on why this is important. And we'll take a deeper dive and actually show people how to do this on Wednesday during group coaching. But can you just talk about the importance of having email opt-in, automations, and talk about those two things first, and then we can go and talk about the other two.
Yeah, email automation is really important, and this is so you can have those like those communications. Like it's kind of like, again, you're building a relationship with individuals, right? So if you have an email automation, somebody opts in and say now you have their email information. What are you going to do to make sure that they are notified when you have an event? You do have some great information that you want to reach out and get to them. But again, you don't want to spend so much time behind the scenes typing up an email every day to send out to everyone. So now you can create, or you can connect with the right email automation, where now you can go in and you can create 5, 6, 7 emails that just go out, and you just have them scheduled out, and every 7 days they're going out, instead of spending time each day to type up emails. When I first started, I was doing that myself. Like, man, this is just taking too long. What if you oversleep? What if something changes in your day? What if something happens and now you're like, oh man, I forgot to send that email. But what this allows you to do is, again, it's like a system. You're creating a process and you are doing that stuff ahead of time, so people are notified. Hey, every week you're going to go live, or every week that church service is at this time, but you never know, you might have somebody brand new that wants to tune in. So now you have a process now where you're sending out a reminder email every week, and it's automated. So it's going out automatically, instead of you constantly going back and pushing the button, constantly going in there and saying remind. You're creating this process in the background. So again, it's allowing you to be ahead of the game when like, okay, this is the process. Every week I do this. So let me go ahead and create 10 emails, have it automated, have it scheduled out. So when it does go out, it's taking away that legwork that would take up so much more of your time if you're doing it as a daily task.
You know what I love too, Aisha, even before you even get to the place of setting up the email automation, one thing that you have really honed in with me is having the opt-in. So if they like your page, or if they like a post, or if they like a video, how do you stay connected with them past that 1 second interaction? Right. And so you're like, if somebody likes your post, invite them to like the page. If they like the page, invite them to register for group coaching. If they register for and I never thought about it. And it was like, duh. Have a system in place so that your ideal audience, whoever that is, whether you're a church, whether you're a nonprofit, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether it's programming, that you are building on that relationship with them to keep them in your community, your whatever it is that you are building as a transformational leader. Yes. And that's why I really loved group coaching, because a lot of the people that have started to join group coaching have joined because of that relationship, that we stretched it beyond just that one and have now built a relationship to now that I can hear their stories and learn from them, and we can learn from each other. So having that email opt-in, and then being even more intentional about having that automation. So whether it's your email automation, whether it's your scheduling. Before this, Aisha, how many meetings did I miss?
Just meetings after meetings. And again, like we were talking about, it allows you to focus on the big picture, because we want you to go to the meetings. We need you to be at the meetings, but
especially in this Zoom overload, I'm all zoomed out.
Yes, that's Zoom life.
That's Zoom life. So if you can have that system where people just click a link and automatically your calendars are synced, think about how that has taken one thing off of you. I was laughing at my husband yesterday. I asked him about something. He's like, he pulled out a paper calendar, like like, man, how old are you? no
That's
offense
funny.
to, no offense to our people who still have paper calendars. I love you. You are wonderful, a
Bless your
beloved
heart. Yes.
child of God. All right, so email opt-ins, automation, scheduling, social media. Let's talk about leadership development and productivity for teams. And we've talked a lot about the assessment, and a lot of people, we have seen the text messages, the DMs. If you want to take the assessment, go to aishathomas.org and schedule a one-on-one consultation with Aisha, or hop onto the group coaching call on Wednesdays because we talk about that, about how to use the assessment to maximize your productivity, as well as develop yourself as a leader, your team as a leader, and increase your funds. So take a minute to talk a little bit about the assessment in terms as using it systematically to reach your goals.
Yeah, so I mean, for the assessment wise, there's a group of individuals that are considered what they call the C's, but they're like the quality person. So they're the person that are going to cross the T's, dot the I's. They're going to be the people that are really going to take time and energy to ensure that everything that you're putting out is of quality. And a lot of times, sometimes we're not recognizing that we might be bringing on too many people that they might just focus on the interaction solely. There might be people that solely focus on the results, but you need to have those people on your team that you have identified are the quality control people. They're going to make sure the products are good. They're going to be the ones, me and Nathalie have done it. I'm just like, she's like, oh, I just fixed this. Can you check it for me? So I'll go in, put my email, I'll look and I'll wait on the other side to see if I got the email. And I'm like, no, you didn't get the email. Or if I get the email and it's missing some stuff, hey, if you missed this part of it, maybe add this on that and that on there. But you need somebody that has those set of eyes and they're really looking at all those finite details. And then even for people who are the S's, they're really process focused. They want to be able to know how to do things from step 1 to step 2 because they too like quality. So those are great people to test out your products, test out the thing that you're trying to put out there. And they'll be like, you know what? I don't understand that. And if they tell you that, then you can go back and make the adjustments necessary. But it's really important that you have a diverse team to tap into the areas that are important. But in this area of systems, you want to make sure you have those C focus, those S focus people that can really look at the processes and look at the quality to ensure that, again, that product, that service, that message you're delivering on the other side is of quality.
And you won't know that. You won't have that information. You won't have that language. You won't have that intentionality until you have that system through the assessment.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, I had a wonderful team. I have a wonderful team. I have great people that have worked with me that I've known for years. We've had amazing results and have made major impact. But it wasn't until I had the assessment that I realized, oh, that's what we needed. Oh, that's who I am. Oh, that's why they act that way. You won't know until you have the tool to use it.
Exactly. Because that's the thing, like even when you take the assessment for your whole team, it'll actually show you a big picture to see where are the gaps in your organization. And boom, it was right in that quality area. And it was like, okay, you're missing, everybody here is really great supporters. You have the people who are great for marketing, for creativity, but you're missing those detail oriented, those people that are quality control driven. So once you add that layer to it, boom, now you have a full quality, great team that can really truly help you on the back end. And all the areas now, all the plugs are clogged. Not clogged up, but all the plugs are taken care of. And now as the leader in that team, you can again focus on the big picture because the things in the back have been taken care of.
And that's so important. So if you've had your business for a while and it's not taking off, if you have high turnover and it's hard for you to retain your team and your employees, if you're just not meeting budget, you're not seeing the numbers that you want to see. If you are a church and during this time of pandemic, you don't have your systems in place and you have a small team and you're doing everything, having that assessment gives you the tool to change what I want things to be to have the language and the step-by-step guide to go to where you want to be. And I think that's where so many of us get lost. We spend more time on ideation, thinking about things than actually putting the system in place to get to transformation. We can't stay in ideation. We can't stay there. We can't stay with, this is what I want. This is what I hope it should be. This is, I've wanted to do this for so long and I just don't know why it's not taking off. It's not taking off because you can't just think about it. Yeah. We can't do anything if we stay in ideation. We need the tools and the steps and the guides and the system so that we can take that idea to ultimately do what? Transform people's lives, make a difference in the world. And that's that transformational leadership that we've been talking about. And so thank you, Aisha, because it's been a game changer in my life. And we want that for you. So if you're out there and you've been in ideation too long, you've plateaued in your business or your organization, and you're really ready to get some tools to take it to the next level, we invite you to sign up for free group coaching. We're going to share information about the assessment as well as tips, tricks, and strategies for you to be able to do that have been helpful and proven to us. And we're going to go deep this Wednesday.
Yes,
we're going to be sharing screens. I'm going to be giving some key things that have been working for us. Like I said, in just the last couple of weeks, Aisha, you have helped me and have transformed my life. So if you need a one-on-one with Aisha, go to aishathomas.org, or of course, hop on the group coaching because it's so much fun to learn from each other.
Yes.
Let's end with this last thing. So we talked about increasing productivity. We talked about improving performance for our teams by using the assessment. Can you just take a minute to talk about how transformational leaders need a system in place to increase their funding, whatever funding looks like, whether you're a church, whether you're a nonprofit organization, whether you're a business owner. Talk about that system and that process for hashtag securing the bag or hashtag securing the grant.
I love it.
Hold on. Can I take a minute to just say my leadership and team development expert helped me to see a game-changing first quarter.
Yes. Yay.
75% of the grants that we wrote, we secured.
Love it. Love it.
We went from like 6-figure grant in 1 year to 6-figure grant secured in 1 quarter.
In 1 quarter. That's amazing. Yay. Systems.
Systems. Say it again. Systems.
No, but that's the power of systems. Like we know, we've been saying, like, you want to make sure everything has a process. So even with collecting funds and having that process, even like depending on how you are closing out that transaction, how does that look like? What does that look like? Again, I keep thinking about when you go to the store, you go out, maybe do the self-checkout, you go through that process, and now it's asking you, okay, what payment option do you have? How you want to pay? You go through the prompts, and then boom, you're done. Here's your receipt, and you keep it pushing. But it's so important that you create these processes, even all the way to that point where you are collecting that revenue. And again, it might be donations. It might be you actually closing out a ticket with the client or a transaction with the client. What steps do they go through when they reach out to you and say, yes, I would love to go ahead and just secure your products or your businesses? What does that look like? What's the next step? What email is going to them? What payment system are you utilizing? Is it effective? Is it something that takes all types of credit cards? Is it something that's going to be if you think about people who don't have, like, I know a lot of people use PayPal in the beginning. Well, there's sometimes prompts where it's like, you have to have a PayPal account as well. Well, what if they don't want to have one? So what is your plan B? And sometimes because you have a variety of different clients and customers, you might find yourself listening, like saying that I need PayPal here, I need Square here, I might need to get, we don't want to try to utilize Cash App because, again, we're businesses. We want to have a very thorough process. So making sure that you're thinking about the client and all the different types of payments and how they want to complete those payments. So even if you're thinking about the church aspect, if you go show up. And the only way that we can, in today's age where people barely carry cash, the only way you're collecting your tithe and offerings is from, you go around and you're handing out cash, then you are missing a huge amount of people who are only utilizing online banking, I pay my tithes strictly online. I never have a cash offering. So you want to think about, again, that's why innovation is so important. What are people utilizing? What are they not utilizing? So you can make adjustments to your payment systems and all the other systems you're using. So you can make sure from the beginning to end, when it is time to say, okay, this is how we collect your donation or your payment, you have options for the person. So you can have that easy process on the back end.
Yeah. And one thing that one of our coaches taught us is transformation happens after transaction. So if there's no way for us to exchange, whether it's goods for services, whether it's experiences, whether it's products, whatever it is that you have to offer the world, if you make it hard for me to transact with you, then I'm missing out of the transformational experience with you. Yes. And that's where a lot of us are dropping the ball.
I even have one story I'll share real quick. I remember that I tried out this new system when I had my first book. And I remember sending it out to everyone. And there was a gentleman that wanted to purchase it for his daughter, because this one was focused on making young people trend-setting leaders. And he kept going and it wasn't working. And I'm like, oh, I'll fix it. What happened? He started to lose trust in me, because he's just like, wait, what's going on? Why you have these bootleg systems in place? It's not working. And he literally stopped responding to my messages and when I talked to him later on, he was like, yeah, I just thought maybe this was like a little, shiesty type of, situation. A money grab. He thought I was just trying to get, I was just like, I don't want, But again, that's why it's so important for you to have that in place, because it's a trust factor as well. People want to feel comfortable when they're doing these processes. So that was a really quick learning lesson for me, that I have to make sure that I check and make sure that every process and option that a customer has or wants to utilize, I have access to it. And I say, okay, these are your options. Which one would you like? Which one do you like?
Systems. I can't say it enough. If you don't have your system, you are not ready for success. And I was skeptical. I was definitely one of those people like, it don't take all that. I ain't doing that. Now I'm like, what other system do I need? Listen, and so since you share a story, I will share my success story. And I texted you as soon as it happened. So I was one of those people that used PayPal. And then, of course, the automatic way that people do it through my website. But Aisha was like, you need a system to take people from whenever they opt in to if they want to, whether it's for your speaking, whether it's for your online courses, whether it's for services or contracts or whatever. You need to take them from, I know you, I want that, send me a proposal, here's the contract, here's the invoice. And so I finally, guys, I finally did it. I got the system together. Aisha approved it. It was all good. And my proposal, as opposed to 4 or 5 or sometimes even a week going back and forth with PayPal, 2-day turnover.
2 days.
2 days.
Wow.
Increased productivity, improved performance, and hashtag secure the bag, increase funding. Those are the results that having the right system in place. So whatever it is, whatever the dream, the vision, the business, the organization, I want you to get the right systems in place. That's our hope and prayer for you. That's why we spent 47 minutes on Facebook Live sharing the nuggets. So the nugget for you today as a transformational leader is to have your system in place. All right. So where do we go from here? All right. This is what I want you to do. I want you to do one of 3 things. If you are ready to get the assessment so that you can know more about the system, know more about yourself, and who you are, why don't you go ahead to aishathomas.org and register for an individual consultation with her, and she can go in depth on what the assessment looks like. If you're like, you know what, I'm not ready for a one-on-one, I just want to, get with people who are doing things like me, who are making a difference in the world and who are bettering themselves, hop on with us on Wednesdays for group coaching. It's totally free. This is our way of just helping people, pouring into people, encouraging people. Because listen, we need encouragement. I'm tired of getting on these Zoom calls and it is not it's not helping me. At least with group coaching, we can learn from each other and find the answers to the questions of the problems that are holding us back, and learn and glean from each other's wisdom. All right. And go to NathalieNelson.com. There's tons of free resources for you for all of your leading and funding needs. This has been Nuggets with Nathalie, and your nugget for the day is systems lead to success. Okay?
Systems. Systems. I love it.
I love it. And so this is the Transformational Leaders series. This has been so much fun.
It has been.
It's been so much fun. And people are really enjoying and taking the content and transforming their lives.
Yes. So good.
Yeah, it's so good. So this is for all of your leading and funding needs. Hop on with us on Wednesdays at noon Central, 1 Eastern, for the Transformational Leaders series as we continue it on Fridays as well, and for group coaching. Listen, I love y'all, but my boo coming home. So.
May date night commence.
You know what I wanted to tell you, Aisha, the other day, since we were talking about my son. When we say the assessment, guys, we're talking about personality types that are, dominant, what's the
interactive,
stable.
You have the pacer, stable, and then the cautious one.
Cautious one. So I think my son is the D, the dominant, like me. I think he's a DI. I think he's very.
Oh, for sure.
So
energy's on 10.
So I'm a 99D, 99I. So Aisha, me and my son, we're talking. It's the end of the day. We're kind of wrapping up. And I say to him, I said, how was your day? What was the best part of your day? He tells me the best part of the day. And I said, oh, you are such a blessed little boy. He said, my mom, I'm not a boy. I am a man.
Oh, okay. He's a man. Okay. Little L. I ain't little L. I'm big L.
He said, I'm a man. Daddy man, you a girl.
Oh, but you a girl. You're not even a woman.
Aww. What? So I was like, yeah, you definitely a D. And then this is another way I know he's a D. So he asked for ice cream or icy, something with sugar in it. And I said, it was like 7:00. I'm like, no, you're not getting anything with sugars. He asked. I said, no. Then I said, Leon, pass me the remote. He said, the remote? I said, yes, pass me the remote. He said, no. I said, oh, you being petty. He said, I'm not petty. I'm mad.
He said, no.
He said, no, I'm not petty. I'm mad. I was like, okay.
That is so funny. Yes, he is.
Thank you for the assessment to become a better parent, to appreciate.
He's just like mama, but just in a small form.
I looked at him. I was like, touche. like I can't be mad. I mean, I created this month.
Yes.
All right, well, we love y'all. Hope to see you again Wednesday for group coaching, and Friday as Nuggets with Nathalie continues with the Transformational Leaders series. Peace out. And remember, transformation starts with you.